Why don't we start with Match Group's new Tinder Select tier? Hmm?
Biggest news of the month, I'd say.
For Match Group shareholders, certainly. Yeah, Match Group launched this new tier for Tinder called Tinder Select. It's a nice little measly $500 a month. The benefits aren't really that exciting, to be honest. The whole, I think, appeal here is that you are in an exclusive group, essentially. So they're not accepting everyone. You have to apply to be considered for Tinder Select. And if you're accepted, then you can pay $500 a month. And basically, from what I understand, it's just like the hottest people get accepted. I think it's based on like a likes
Mm,
ratio. Or am I
no,
wrong?
no, it's active. No,
Most
that would not.
active.
Oh yeah, that would make no sense, Ryan. Come on, the
I
hottest
mean,
people don't have to pay for anything.
that's fair. I guess it's going to be like 90% men that are paying for this then.
Yeah, of course, as always. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be, frankly, the ones that struggle the most, right, and the ones that are wealthiest. I mean, you're not going to have attractive people on there. It's the ones that said it's the 1% most active, which I think makes a lot of sense. So the people that are
it,
on there a lot
it didn't say the 1% most active. It just said
did.
membership spots are limited to less than 1% of users.
Yeah, I thought when I read an article, when I wrote something up on this, it said 1% of like their best users, their top users. So I'd say that's most active power users,
I
basically.
I haven't seen anything that says that's what they're going to do. I mean, in the conference calls, they basically said we're trying to. There are people that. I mean, it kind of makes sense. So, like there are people that have a much higher propensity to pay or propensity to spend, and you're basically charging them the same as everyone else. That doesn't really make a lot of sense. They talked about power users in the conference call, but
Yeah. So you're saying, yeah. So the maybe you're thinking of the people that they're available to talk with, but I'm
the
thinking of the
thing
ones that are going to pay. So are you saying the
could be,
ones
but
that,
like, okay, so there's like the select mode, which means you can only see other accounts that have select. My thought here is why would you want to see 90% other dudes?
yeah. So I think it's different. The ones that are paying are going to be different than the ones that are you're seeing.
Yeah, but I'm saying there's going to be like a mode where you can only see the people that are paying.
Oh, well, that doesn't seem very valuable.
The thing that I think is probably what people are going to pay for the most here is you can direct message people without matching with them, and you can actually go back to like to your previous 7 days of likes. So say you came across some account that was just like you felt it was the magical one and you had to message them and you liked them 5 days ago and they hadn't matched with you and and just to be clear, that doesn't necessarily mean like they didn't like you too. They might not have seen your account. Like you might not have been made available to them. They might not have noticed that you like their account, so they just didn't get the chance. If you really wanted to match with them and you were willing to spend $500 to do so, you could apply to Tinder Select. You could go back, check out your likes, send them a direct message without even matching with them. I think there are probably some people that would pay for that. Now, I'm picturing 90% of the users here being really well off, like teens and 20-year-olds that just have way too much money to spend and probably get quite a good allowance from their parents.
Oh yeah, just like mobile gaming or video games in general. Yeah, and since we've been kind of confusing here, here I have a summary of the key points. So $500 a month, and as Ryan mentioned, the key point here is messaging with people they have not matched with, while the quote most sought after users will see their profiles. And then the third point is that Tinder is offering the plan to less than 1% of its users it considers extremely active. So I think we're both right.
Yeah. Matthias H puts in the chat, are they catering to sugar daddies? Probably.
Well, that might be.
Unfortunately, that might be the most common use case. Now you can like opt out of receiving direct messages without matching. So if you're just getting spammed with crap, like you can just opt out of that stuff. The other thing that I think is kind of interesting here is they're like you will have the option to display the select badge on your profile. don't you think it's kind of a very weak look to be like, yeah, I pay $500 a month for Tinder? Like,
No. Yeah.
no one's gonna want to
Well,
see that.
okay. On the one hand, typically you want that they don't broadcast that you're paying, right? Because that shows the weird signaling thing that goes on with dating. You want to show that you're cool, that you're not trying,
Yeah.
that you're not trying too hard, that you're trying to, yeah, that you need to pay, right? But for this one, Matt H mentioned the I don't know how to describe it. The fact that you have the badge that shows you can afford $500 a month could be beneficial. So I think giving that option is nice. And what's interesting here is that I like that they priced it extremely high for their ultra premium tier, because you don't want too many people signing up for this thing. You also, there's not going to be that many people that want to, because of no one want, there's only a select few people, but it's going to have extremely high incremental margins. And if you have, so it's $500 a year. So basically on an annualized basis, $6,000 a year. When you sign up for these things, it's usually not on a yearly basis, but people cycle through. That means if they have, and let me make sure I'm doing the math correctly here.
Tinder's probably got like 60 million monthly actives.
Yeah. So if you have
depending on how you measure it.
basically 6,000 annualized times, let's say they get 10,000 people to sign up. That's $60 million. So that's not bad, right?
If they
get
if they got 1% of their users to pay for Tinder Select, that's probably like, I'm guessing that's 500,000 users.
Yeah, and I would think it would be closer to like 0.2%, but that's still fairly meaningful.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
They also did the classic, if you can just get 1%. Everyone,
yeah,
like the whole, like, if they can capture 1% of their market, it's huge. So whatever. But no,
what do you think of it? I guess, yeah, let's talk our opinions.
Well, my classic thing to do is anytime a company that I own announces something, I rationalize the best case scenario and I think, oh, this could totally work out. And then
strategic partnership. Ooh,
remember,
interesting.
Oh yeah. Remember Tinder coin? Maybe that is the future. Anyway, I do think there's a market out there who, and frankly, it's probably a lot of the creepers, although they do have like certain conditions that have to be met for your profile. You have to have like 5 pictures, you have to have a real bio, and you have to have like activity. I think there are a bunch of people that can pay for this and will pay for this. I don't think it'll be that significant financially. Maybe I'm wrong. I think
it's pure margin, basically, right?
Yeah, Bernard Kim said he's had success with this at Zynga, where allowing your highest end users to pay egregious amounts helped them. And so he's seen the success of it. He says he's excited to try it on Match Group. Its properties, probably just starting with Tinder. The other thing that I potentially like here is it may be helpful to offset some of the really popular people that have gone to things like the League, or what's the other one that's like for really like famous people? You know what I'm talking about? Raya. Right. Maybe if you can build this into like the high end, wealthy, exceptional active users, and they can filter it to just select mode, it can replace some of the Rayas and the Leagues of the world. I don't know. It might be helpful, but that's really kind of a small market.
Yeah, I think it's a good plan, but not a game changer, and TBD, but they're doing the right thing. All right, let's do another topic. I wanted to talk a presentation on short selling. This is kind of older. It's from Upslope Cap.